Welcome to the Balanced Business Podcast, financial guidance for business owners who want more time, more money, and less stress. No jargon, no overwhelm, just straight talking advice to help you run your business with clarity. So let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to our final episode of the Balanced Business Podcast, the Director's Handbook. I'm Nicola Hageman from the Numbers Quarter, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. This episode is a wrap-up, a recap, and a starting point all rolled into one. Whether you've listened to the whole series or you're just dropping in now and wondering where to begin, this episode will walk you through what we've covered, why it matters, and how you can use the podcast to help you build a business that works for you, not the other way around. So if you're short on time or feeling a bit overwhelmed, this is your shortcut. So let's get into it. Now, this podcast series was created to fill a gap. The space between being a brilliant business owner and suddenly finding yourself responsible for running a limited company. It's easy to feel like you should just know how to handle everything, from tax and payroll to systems and strategy. But no one is born knowing this stuff. And the truth is, running a limited company comes with real responsibilities and also some brilliant opportunities if you know how to use them. I didn't want to make a technical podcast. I wanted to make one that felt like having a chat with someone who gets it, someone who won't bombard you with jargon, but also who won't sugarcoat the important stuff. Each episode in this series is designed to stand on its own, but they also build on each other. So let's walk through what we covered, what you might want to revisit, and how it all connects together. So episode 1, thinking about going limited. This is where it all began. We talk about what actually means to be a limited company, not just legally, but practically. I walk you through the pros and cons, who it suits, and when it's probably not the right move just yet. So listen to this one if you're a sole trader wondering about the next step, you're not sure about going limited and wondering if it's worth it, and you want clarity before you commit. Episode 2 talked about setting your limited company up in the right way. This episode got into the nitty-gritty on how to set your company up properly, and not just with Companies House, but with thought and intention. From naming your company to your share structure, it's more than just ticking boxes. So listen to this one if you're setting up your company now. You want to avoid common mistakes, and you'd like a checklist-style guide that makes setup feel doable. Episode 3, this was what it really meant to be a director. Now we get into the legal and the personal side of being a director. It's more than just signing forms. There are duties, responsibilities, and, honestly, a little bit of a mindset shift required. So listen to this one. If you've just become a director and you feel unsure, you want to understand your legal obligations, and you need a confidence boost in this new role. Episode 4 to 7 was more about money, tax, and expenses. So episode 4 was money. What's the company's and what's yours? This is the one that changes everything for new directors. We talk about the line between company and personal money and how to pay yourself properly. So listen to this one if you're not sure how to take money out of your business, if you've been treating the company bank account as your own, and you want to avoid falling foul of HMRC. Episode 5 went into tax deadlines, what you need to know and when. Now, I know we all hate deadlines, but we hate fines more. This episode was a clear, simple guide to what needs to be filed and when, with some easy systems to help you stay on top. So, listen to this one if you feel lost with all the different tax dates, you've missed a deadline in the past, and you want to plan ahead without panic. Episode 6 looked at what you can claim as a business expense. So from stationery to staff parties, we talk about what you can claim and what you really can't. There's also a section on working from home and trivial benefits. So listen to this one if you're nervous about what's allowed, you want to save tax without overstepping, and you need a refresher on common expenses. Episode 7 looked at VAT, so when you need to register and what it means. This episode walks you through the threshold, registration options, different VAT schemes, and how VAT impacts your pricing and cash flow. Listen to this one if you're approaching the VAT threshold, you're already registered but you still feel unsure about what it actually means, or you've been avoiding this topic completely. And then we move on to episodes 8 to 11. This is control, planning, and getting help. Episode 8 is understanding your accounts without becoming an accountant. This one's all about decoding your profit and loss and your balance sheet. No jargon, no panic, just helping you read your numbers so that you can make better decisions. Listen to this one if you glaze over when you look at your accounts. if you want to feel more confident with your numbers, and you're ready to stop relying purely on your gut feeling. Episode 9 looked at planning ahead, budgeting, forecasting, and feeling in control. We move from hindsight to foresight. This episode is about creating a rhythm for planning, so you're not just reacting to problems but anticipating them. Listen to this one if you've never created a forecast before, you want to stop the feast or famine cycle, and you're ready to think a little bit more strategically. Episode 10 talks about when to get help, so bookkeeping, payroll, VAs, and how to let go. You can't do it all, and honestly, you shouldn't. This episode helps you figure out what to outsource, when to do it, and how to let go without losing control. Listen to this one if you're drowning in admin, you don't know what help you actually need, or you're scared of losing visibility or quality. Episode 11, what good looks like, habits, systems, and staying in control. This is the big picture wrap-up. It's about designing a business that gives you clarity, calm, and confidence. We talk about rhythms, routines, and what strong foundations really look like. So listen to this one if you want to feel more on top of things. You're looking for sustainable growth, not hustle, and you're ready to feel proud of how you run your business. So, where to start if you're new? If you're just finding this series now, here's how I recommend diving into it. If you're not limited yet, start with episode 1. If you are limited but you feel lost, start with episode 3 or 4. If your finances feel a bit messy, try episode 4, 5, and 6. If you want to grow, head to episodes 9 and 11. And if you're ready to get help, episode 10 is your friend. You don't have to listen in order. Think of this series like a reference library. Dip into the topic that's most relevant to you right now. And if you've got your copy of the Director's Handbook or you've downloaded the companion workbook or Director's templates, then you're already set up to get even more from this series. If you haven't, go to thenumbersquarter.co.uk/book for all of the information. Each episode of the podcast brings the book to life. It's a real-world conversation behind the chapters, the stories, examples, and plain English explanations that give you context, clarity, and confidence. Think of the book as your manual, the workbook as your toolkit, and the podcast as the conversation that ties it all together. So if you learn best by listening, or you want something to keep you company while you work, walk, or plan, this is the why behind the how. And my final reflection, it is not about knowing everything. The goal of this series was never to turn you into an accountant. It was to help you feel like the kind of business owner who doesn't just survive, but leads. It's about giving you knowledge, yes, but also confidence. Because when you understand how your business works, when you've got clarity on your numbers, your responsibilities, your systems, everything changes. You can make decisions with more ease. You can plan ahead instead of firefighting. And you can build a business that supports your life, not one that takes over it. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Balanced Business Podcast, the Director's Handbook series. I've absolutely loved sharing this series with you, and I hope that it's helped you feel more informed, more in control, and more confident in your role as a director. But we're not stopping there. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I am excited to let you know that our next series is dropping next week. I'm going to be launching our brand new series called The Purposeful Profits. The next series is all about taking things up a level. It's for business owners who want to build something more intentional, more aligned, and more profitable without burning themselves out in the process. We'll be talking strategy, mindset, planning, and sustainable growth. All the things that turn a business from something that just pays the bills into something that really supports your life. So, if you're ready for that next step, make sure you hit follow or subscribe and keep an eye out for the first episode of Purposeful Profits, dropping next week. Until then, I'm Nicola Hageman, and thank you again for listening. Thanks for listening to the Balanced Business Podcast. If you're ready for more time, more money, and less stress, hit follow, share this episode, or check out the full series. You'll also find my book, The Director's Handbook, and its free companion guide at thenumbersquarter.co.uk/book. See you next time.